when a little tortoise mistook a rock as a tortoise. Once upon a time, in a sunny forest pond, lived a little tortoise named Kura. Kura loved to explore every corner of his home. One morning, while wandering near the pond, he spotted something very curious. It looked like a tortoise, but it didn't move at all. Kura blinked and crawled closer. "Hello there," he said, waving his tiny leg. The tortoise didn't answer. Kura thought maybe it was shy, so he tried to say hello again, louder this time. Still, no reply. He wondered, why isn't it talking back? Kura had never met a quiet tortoise before. He decided he would try to make friends with this strange, silent tortoise, even if it wasn't moving at all. Kura circled around the quiet tortoise with a puzzled expression, growing more confused each time. The tortoise didn't blink or wiggle. "Maybe it's playing hide-and-seek?" he guessed happily. "So," Kura whispered, "if you're hiding, I'll find you." He crawled all around it, looking under leaves and behind rocks, but the tortoise stayed still. Kura scratched his head with a tiny claw. He thought maybe it was a very old tortoise who just liked to sit quietly. Suddenly, Kura had an idea. "I'll sing you a song," he said. He sang his favorite tortoise tune, hoping the tortoise would join in. But the tortoise stayed as silent as a rock. Well, maybe it really was a rock. Kura tapped the tortoise again and laughed. "You're a funny friend. Why don't you talk?" Just then, a friendly frog jumped by and said, "Kura, that's not a tortoise. That's a big, round rock." Kura's eyes grew wide. "A rock, but it looked just like a tortoise," he said, scratching his head. The frog chuckled. "Rocks don't talk or move, silly, but you made a new friend anyway." Kura looked at the rock and smiled. "Even if you don't talk, you're still my friend," he said softly. From that day, Kura visited the rock every morning, telling it stories and singing songs. Kura started to tell his rock friend stories about his adventures. "Yesterday I found a warm spot under the sun," he said, "and I watched a family of ducks waddle by. One of them quacked at me. I think we're friends now." Sometimes Kura imagined the rock was nodding or clapping along. He loved having a friend who always listened quietly, without interrupting. The rock never got tired of his stories. One day, Kura's friends asked why he talked to a rock. Kura smiled and said, "Because sometimes the best friends don't need to talk back. They just need to listen." One rainy day, Kura ran to the rock to keep it company. "Don't worry, I'll protect you from the rain," he said bravely. Kura crawled on top of the rock, like a tiny umbrella. But the rain made Kura cold and wet. The rock stayed still, soaking up the raindrops. Kura laughed and said, "You don't mind the rain, do you?" The rock didn't answer, but Kura thought it was smiling inside. After the rain stopped, a beautiful rainbow appeared. Kura said, "Look, rock friend, the sky made a smile for us." And the rock shined quietly under the colorful light. One day, Kura sat beside his favorite rock at the edge of the forest. It was smooth, warm from the sun, and had been his quiet thinking spot for as long as he could remember. "I want to go on a big adventure," Kura told the rock. "I want to visit the river beyond the forest. I wish you could come." The rock, of course, didn't answer, but Kura imagined it saying, "I'll be right here when you get back." Kura smiled and gently tapped the rock with his leg. "Then I'll bring you something special from the river, so you'll know I was thinking of you." He set off on his journey, thinking about all the things he would see and what gift he could bring back for his quiet, unmoving friend. Along the way, Kura met Lily the bunny. "Where are you off to?" Lily asked. "I'm going to the river beyond the forest," Kura said. "I'm bringing something special for a friend who can't come." "That's kind," said Lily, hopping alongside him for a while. When Kura finally reached the big river, he was amazed. The water sparkled under the sunlight, fish danced beneath the surface, and colorful dragonflies zipped across the sky. He walked slowly along the riverbank, dipping his feet into the cool water. "This is even more beautiful than I imagined," Kura whispered. Then he remembered his promise, to bring back something special for his rock friend. He looked around carefully. There were shiny pebbles near the water, but his friend was already a rock. Too similar, Kura thought. He saw a feather floating by, soft and white. Pretty, but not quite right. Then, under a shady tree, Kura spotted a small, smooth blue glass bead tangled in some grass. It shimmered like water and had clearly been left behind by someone long ago. "This is it," Kura said, picking it up gently. "It's smooth like you, quiet like you, but it holds a sparkle from the river. A perfect gift." On his way back, Kura passed Lily again. "Did you find something for your friend?" asked Lily. Kura nodded, showing the shiny blue bead. "It's a memory of the river, so my rock friend can feel like it was part of the journey." Lily smiled. "That's a beautiful gift." The next morning, the sun rose gently over the trees, painting the sky with orange and pink. Kura yawned and stretched his little legs. Then suddenly, he remembered. "The gift," he said with a bright smile, his heart filled with excitement as he looked at the shiny blue bead he had kept safe all night. "I can't wait to show it to my rock friend." Kura began his journey, humming a cheerful tune. The path through the woods felt shorter this time. His feet moved quicker, his steps lighter. "I hope my friend will love it," he whispered as he passed Lily, who waved from a berry bush. When he finally reached the clearing, there it was, his rock friend, sitting quietly, just as always. "I'm back," Kura called, hurrying forward. "And I brought something special, just for you." He placed the shiny blue bead right at the base of the rock. It caught the morning light and sparkled like the river itself. "I know you couldn't come with me," Kura said, patting the rock gently with his foot. "But this bead carries the river's shimmer, the breeze that tickled my shell, and the songs of frogs I heard at night." Then, Kura looked around and realized something was missing. "It needs more," he said. So Kura went into the nearby woods and picked a few things. A purple wildflower, just beginning to bloom. A curled leaf that looked like a little boat. A smooth acorn cap that had fallen under a tall oak. He carefully decorated the shiny blue bead and set it down beside the rock like a precious treasure. "There," he said, smiling. "Now it feels like you were really there with me." Kura sat beside the rock and told stories of the river, the dragonflies, the dancing fish, the way the moon looked over the water. He spoke slowly, carefully, as if the rock was listening to every word. And maybe it was, because sometimes being a good friend doesn't mean moving or talking. Sometimes it just means being there.